Hey guys, Ronan Will. Today we are going to be painting the first of our secondary units, Captain Rex, also known as CT-7567. Captain Rex is a clone trooper. He's the leader of the 501st, not including Anakin, and he is part of the Galactic Republic. I'm starting out by... I primed him in white, so most of his armor is already taken care of for me, for the base coat anyway. And then I am going to be using Necromancer Cloak for the black-gray pieces of his armor set. So, like always, we're going to take a few moments and look at his character card while I do the base coat here. He is a 9 hit point unit with 2 stamina, like pretty much everybody else. He has 6 abilities. No, 5 abilities. I can count, guys, I promise. His first is Get a Move On, Soldier. At the start of this unit's activation, choose a character within this unit or an allied Galactic Republic character. The chosen character may advance and may gain cover. Defensive maneuver, which costs 1 force. Each character in this unit may advance. If any characters advance, this unit gains cover. I'm always first, kid. Is 1 force. If this unit is not wounded after an allied clone trooper supporting unit within range 3 of this unit makes a combat action, this unit may use its ability. This ability. 1 character in this unit may advance. If it does, it may make a 5-dice melee or range attack targeting one of the same enemy characters within range and line of sight. I'm guessing range meaning range 3? Or range of his weapon. Bring it on, Clankers. After an allied clone trooper unit within range 3 of this unit gains cover, one character in this unit may heal 1. So he has a slight healing ability. Brothers in Arms. While this unit has 1 or more cover, characters in this unit have steadfast. Cool. Pretty straightforward. Again, he's from the core set. He is the secondary unit that usually gets paired with Anakin, although I guess technically it could be paired with Ahsoka since she was the one leading the 501st in the battle for Mandalore. But yeah. Okay, so Rex has his card, which is Tactical Supremacy. This cold is killing me, guys. If you remember the last episode, I was telling you I have a cold. I still have that cold. To be fair, both these videos were edited the same day, so you would expect it, especially since they're both being posted the same day. Alright, so he's got a 5 range on his attack, on his ranged attack, of course. And both his melee and range do 7 attack and give him 5 defense. So he's pretty good on either end. In fact, I don't really... I mean, considering he has the DC-17 blaster pistols as his melee and ranged weapon, I don't see any difference. For both of them, it's 1 to 2 adds an extra hit, 3 to 4 adds adds 2. So it adds 2 hits for 1 to 2. 3 to 4 adds 2 crits. 5 or more adds 2 crits and a hit. And that's both for range and melee. His armor is phase 2 clone armor, which for 1 to 2 gives him +1 defense, and 3 or more gives him 2 defense. He has a little bit of a choice on the trees. He's not as versatile as some of the other units that we've seen. He either has mostly attack damage or mostly effects. It is a very large split. At most, he can deal 6, 7, 8, 9 damage if he gets all 5 of his hits, or 4 damage if he gets 5 from the other side. But he's very much about maneuvering and getting into a good position to strategically help the rest of his units, which is very thematic for Rex. Oh, sorry guys. Alright, so CT-7561, aka Clone Commander Rex, Clone Captain Rex. He was introduced to us from the Star Wars Clone Wars. He was before the Clone Wars. He was introduced. I'm trying to remember if he was in the anime series. I don't believe he was. No, he was. He was an anime character from the Clone Wars, like shorts that were released just before Episode 3. Episode 3, he was, of course, seen with Anakin Skywalker as the leader of the 501st. And then he was more known for being in Clone Wars and then seen in Rebels as the older man who helped found the rebellion. And I'm not sure if it's actually canon, but there's a running thing where one of the old men in Return of the Jedi on the Force Moon of Endor looks exactly like this, like Rex from the Rebels TV series. I'm trying to see if there is actually any information on it. Well, there's a lot on Rex. I mean, he is a major character after all. But I don't think it's literally not loading. There's too much information on Rex. Let's see. So something interesting with Rex, which when we're doing basing, we'll actually be able to see, because if you notice, I didn't do Rex's his helmet. I did his head instead, just to change it up so you could see even more so the difference between Rex and the rest of the clone troopers. So when we do the basing, I'm also going to be painting his helmet, and we're going to stick it onto his base someplace. I kind of was thinking of like sticking it on his base where it's almost like thrown down, like he pulled off his helmet so we could see better or something. Because we know those helmets basically prevent you from seeing anything. I'm just doing some gunmetal on his blasters. So deep blue I end up using for his pauldron and the outer stitching on his cloak, half cloak, half skirt. I don't know what you want to call it. His little armor thing that flares out is also what I used for his 501st markings. Since he has, just like the rest of the 501st, he has a straight down the stripe of his legs and his arms. see. Something interesting to note with Rex is he kind of fell into a weird category of almost ARC Trooper, which I would love to get some ARC Troopers for this. They basically are like elite versions of the clone commandos, and he that's basically where parts of his armor from are the ARC Trooper armor. His helmet, interestingly enough, is a combination of the Phase 2 clone armor and the Phase 1 clone armor. He actually modified it himself. So he has the visor of a Phase 1 because it gave him more filters and stuff like that, and the armor of a Phase 2, since it's better equipment, better armor. So I'm just touching up. I managed to miss the whole armor neck piece that he has there. And then this is, I'm going to tell you right now, this is like the most agonizing thing, is trying to get the blue on the edging of this this skirt. I'm going to just keep calling it a skirt from now on, guys. So he has a lot of history there. I take some of the white just to do some touch-ups at this point, because I was not as careful as I should have been, but that can't be helped. I'm basically going to have to go over the entire thing again in white anyway, after I dark tone him. In the Rebel series, he still has the helmet and parts of the armor. Not the whole armor, just parts of it. He's among some of the only clone troopers who, not only removed their chip, their inhibitor chips, but also were able to leave the Empire without any real repercussions. Oh, so I think they did make it canon that the old man seen in the Battle for Endor, or Battle of Endor, is Rex. Because it's talking about him here, second Death Star, Rex was in the troops that were there. So yeah, I guess he was. I thought that was kind of cool. So I ended up opting to paint Rex's hair like a yellowish color, because I remember watching Clone Wars, and he mostly had peach fuzz, if he ever really had any hair. But he dyed it yellow for some reason. I guess just to stand out a little bit more. I'm trying to see if I can find a picture of... Yeah, you can kind of see it in some of the early Clone Wars episodes that he's got like, his hair is dyed like yellow. And considering Jango Fett had like brownish black hair, you know he dyed it. So this is just a bit of barbarian flesh that I'm using for the skin tone. And unlike the Inquisitors from the other episode, you'll see I end up not doing much with the face on him, which in my opinion turned out way better. But we're just doing a few last minute touch-ups here, just cleaning up the white again. And you know what that means. The next step is literally covering the whole thing in a dark tone. So let's see. Yep, there it is. We're using two different tones here. We're using dark tone for a majority of the armor and body. And then the one to the right there is flesh tone. This is for the skin to help blend his skin a little bit more. So, again, I could have just been a little bit more subtle with this and just used it very sparingly into the cracks. But I am very much a creature of habit at this point, and so instead I just cover the whole damn thing in it. Yeah, this isn't too complicated. And again, I think Rex turned out very well considering how simple it is of just white, black, and blue. So you want to make sure you get that into all those crevices. That's the main point of using the toners. Alright, and then I don't know why I thought this was okay to do it off camera, but I did. I finished off his face with the flesh wash and all that. So now we're going to go and we're going to be very soft with the white tone, trying to avoid any of the recesses. So you got to be very mindful of where you're putting this. You're trying just to get the tops of everything. If you do it right, you'll have these nice dark, crisp lines and these very like white, bright white armor patches, which contradict each other very nicely. Contradict, complement, feed off each other. Like it looks very good, is what I'm trying to say. Now I do my best to avoid the blue lines on the armor, which, if you remember when I first did the Clone Troopers, I ended up opting not to do the blue lines until the end, which I feel like is a better option, just because then I don't have to worry about where they belong and all that. Tell you that I love the overlapping armor pieces and all that, but it is the most aggravating thing when you're trying to paint. you have to be very, very mindful of what's exposed and what's not. I probably didn't have to put white on his shoulder armor as much as I did. So, as you can see, I'm trying very hard not to cover up the blue there. One thing I always like watching, and I watch my own videos unedited, like this. I just find it so fascinating how you can basically just do a time lapse of the different shades going on, and how cool that would be to see it. Something about painting white onto dirty armor like that, it gives me the same like satisfaction as if like you're cleaning something very dirty, like if you have like a dirty rug that has mud and everything on it and you power wash, it gets that sense of like, not nostalgia, what am I thinking of, like that euphoria, like serotonin almost, of like, look how cool this looks, you know? Which, for me, is very hard to resist then going over and being heavy-handed again with white, to just fill the entire outfit with white. I mean, it was only a few seconds, and this isn't really sped up as much as some of my other videos. To just coating in that white around those areas. Oh, I don't know, something so satisfying about it to me. Hi, Brett. Somebody's here to cause problems. Anyway, so Rex actually, it's funny, so Rex, even though he's Anakin's like commander or captain, he ends up doing quite a bit more with Ahsoka near the end, and hell, even in Rebels, he's not part of the 501st anymore. He's part of the Rebel Alliance, and so he joins Ahsoka's team. But I think near the end of the Clone Wars, I think was my favorite thing. They ended up, if you haven't seen the episode, I would recommend watching, like, at least near the end of the Clone Wars. I can't remember what episode it was, but Rex and the entire 501st repaint their armor, or not the entire 501st, but the squadron that is deployed with Ahsoka to help overthrow Maul. They repaint their entire armor set to basically honor Ahsoka as their commander. And I mean, it's cute, it's very cool. Honestly, if I was thinking about it, I probably would have redone the 501st. Like, if I could get another set of the 501st, I would definitely do the Ahsoka armor 501st instead. But I wanted it more traditional with these guys, which is why I ended up going with the standard 501st. So there's one thing you can see, I made a mistake there. I went a little too far down on the white paint on the belt and got a little bit on the cloak, which I'll touch up later once I get to the cloak's coloring. But again, right now, just watching the all those dirty spots on the armor instantly disappearing, because again, it's all painted on, just like the spots were all painted on, but like, I don't know, just something about it is so satisfying to me. So originally, I thought those pockets on his cloak were gray, but upon doing some more research and everything, they're white, as if, like, I guess they're supposed to technically be attached to his belt. Oh, but there's half of his armor done. Just how much that pops just by doing, you know, the lining that isn't that you can see in between. It looks so good. I usually struggle with characters in white armor as well. Like, it's one of those things where I find, like, characters in armor in general, as a general rule, just have a hard time being, like, anything interesting. But I don't know, something about, I guess Rex has enough, like, fabric and uniqueness going on that he's kind of nice. Usually, like, the hardest part is that lower part of his leg. Yeah, so something weird with the clone armor, they're calf covers kind of have like an indent, which is why you can see I'm leaving like that little weird like dark spot right there. It's because that's actually part of the sculpt. I think I did it on the other clones as well. It just seems very odd to me to have that there, you know? We're cleaning up those blaster holsters. I kind of wish there was like an indent or something on the blaster holsters to give it like just a little bit more depth. There we go. And now to paint the back end of Rex. Nice. This is where it starts getting hard because I'm trying not to touch Rex as much as I have been already. I'm trying to still get more paint on him. So believe it or not, guys, we're coming up to the end here. Again, the largest portion of his coloring is that white armor. So once we get that all done, it's just a matter of cleaning up the black, the blue, and the skin tone. I legit move these models around so much when I'm trying to paint. Which, I mean, you're going to have to. You're never going to just be able to, like, set it down and that's it, you know? Alright, that's all of the white. And now let's get the, if I'm not mistaken, I do the black next. Yeah, this is again the Necro shade, or the Necro cloak. Not that it makes much of a difference. If anything, it lightens up some of the spots. There it goes. Just touching up the blaster pouches. I don't know what really those are. There's a lot of stuff with Rex on here that he doesn't even have those. In fact, most of the Clone Wars stuff, he doesn't have them on him. Huh. Interesting. Maybe that's from the live action. So I'm just touching up a couple more spots. And then cleaning up the soles of his shoes. Cool. All right, and then at this point, I should be getting a mixture of the Necro cloak and some gray. And then this is just going to be for the most raised parts of that cloak there. I didn't want to go with blue because it's, you know, we've got a blue cloak or blue edging. Oh, I did go with blue. Huh. You'd think I would have remembered that. I ended up going with a lighter blue then for the edge of the cloak. So this is a technique that I actually picked up from the old Oh, what was it called? If you remember the old Spider-Man cartoon from the 90s, Venom was black with blue highlights, so that's kind of where I got this technique from. Ironically, when I was painting some of my Marvel Crisis Protocol units, I got Venom, and that was how I did his color scheme. It looked so good on him. Okay, and then this is the blue to touch up his lines. So this is just deep blue. Again, without it being mixed in with the black, you get a nice bright blue. Which is pretty much what you want. On that arm, there's a section where it's actually paneling. He's got like buttons on the wrist. So I end up going back and putting the yellow on those buttons. And then I touch up the pauldron. And it pops so nice. Like, I love that blue on there. That looks so good. I end up adding a little bit of crystal blue to it. So the very top, there goes crystal blue, jeez. The very tops of all of it will be like even lighter blue than everything else. And this also is allowing for the edge of the cloak skirt thing. Somebody please tell me what that is called. I really do not know. A battle skirt. But you go all the way around his cloth there with this blue. Touching up, I actually went with a very light, that mixture to make it pop even more. Now, of course, I'm painting him off screen. There we go. And that should be it for the blue highlights. Now we're moving on to his hair and skin. His hair, I literally just went back over with I believe that was desert yellow, and there's basically I just took a whole, I'm doing the skin first. So this is barbarian flesh again, just trying to brighten it back up. And then I lighten it up a little bit more. In fact, I think I use a pink for the, yep, Centaur pink. A Centaur skin, I think it was called. Mix that with the barbarian flesh to give me that mid-tone. Just really on the tops there. And that's it. Alright, let's finish him off with his hair. Maybe. Yep. And this I just dry brushed. I wanted to try and pull some of those dark spots off, but at the same time I didn't want to lose the coloring and the way that it hit. So this, I don't know why the dark tone ended up glooping up so much on his hair, but it's about the best I'm going to be able to get with him. So last thing I do is just brighten up the blasters a little bit with gunmetal again. And then there are 3 little metallic clasps on his, again, I don't know what pouch to call them, ammo pouch, I guess. So I put the 3 little dots there, and he is done. Alright guys, so this is Rex. Again, I didn't do the eyes. I think he turned out way better without doing the eyes, which is probably what I'm going to be doing for the rest of them. But anyway, till next time, Ronan will catch you later.